Hey Grande Alive, this is your weekly Newsish Roundup, brought to you by Grande Hospital, Northwest Furniture and Mattress, Anything2Digital.com, and Direct Music Source. There's big happenings on Adams Avenue in La Grande. Just past the turnoff onto 4th, if you look up and just to the right, you'll see a bright neon sign with the word Liberty. And what you may not know is that this sign and the building it hangs from has a vibrant past, and if Kelly Ducote has anything to say about it, a vibrant future as well. LGA reporter Elena Garner has this story.
Hi, I'm Elena, and I'm inside the Liberty Theater in downtown La Grande. The Liberty Theater was first built in 1910 and had two other names before becoming the Liberty Theater in 1930. The Liberty Theater is a historically significant building because there are multiple Liberty Theaters across the nation and across the state of Oregon. Recently, I sat down with Executive Director Kelly Ducote and chatted with her about the Liberty Theater, its restoration, and what's happening next.
So the Liberty Theater Foundation envisions a very vibrant place where people can come to enjoy great art, culture, and entertainment in a setting that is historic, accessible, and just generally kind of an exciting place. The Liberty Theater, the name Liberty, started in New York after World War I, and it was kind of this patriotic wave to name your theater after liberty. So it's very much kind of pays homage to the troops who went and fought and what they hoped, of course, would be the last World War. On the fundraising front, we are going to the state legislature in this session to ask for an allocation, and that would really send us over the edge in terms of being able to make some significant progress in our restoration efforts. We're always looking for people who would like to get involved with our leadership and planning. We have several committees going and active right now, and we're definitely looking for people who want to get involved and who would like to see this project move forward. And so if you are interested, I would encourage you to get in touch with me.
If you'd like to get in touch with Kelly or for more information, head on over to libertyonadams.org or their Facebook page for more information. Thanks, La Grande Alive!
La Grande Alive will keep you up to date with the Liberty as the project moves forward. This title story was brought to you by Anything2Digital.com. If you're old enough to know what one of these are, you're officially old. But here at Anything2Digital.com, we want to make you young again. So bring in all your old media and we'll transfer it to new, high-quality, shiny discs that can play on that new Blu-ray player your grandkids got you for Christmas. Anything2Digital.com, your old media to new. Heather Rico is one of the only people I've ever met who can somehow unite the essence of hippiness with being a highly conservative Christian. On the one hand, she enjoys wearing sundresses in the summer, making arts and crafts with materials from fairy beads, and sometimes when I see her, she looks like the closest thing from Woodstock to ever hit La Grande. But don't let that fool you. She's really a God-fearing, Jesus-loving writer girl whose sole purpose in writing is for people to read her work and to see God inside her stories.
When I started to notice that I love writing and I want to pursue it as my passion, I was talking with God about it and just realizing that nothing's meaningful unless he's in it, and I didn't want to water him down. So there's just so many aspects of Christianity that you can weave into fantasy that I just didn't want to miss anything.
Heather has self-published her last 2 novels, and while I may stick my pinky out higher than the moon and say that self-publishing is a little bit of a cop-out, she highly respects those people who can succeed in the self-publishing industry.
It isn't cheating in the sense of if you know what you're doing, because if you know what you're doing and you have a good book cover and you have several editors and you're doing it right and you get it self-published, it's a lot of work because there isn't a publishing house promoting it for you who know what they're doing and have marketing degrees and have like a team for you. It's just me. And I work full-time at a hardware store. What do I know about marketing? And it's just, if you are successful with self-publishing, then I have a lot of respect for that person because they did it.
The conversation was a fun and frank back and forth between 2 writers who have very different writing styles, but enjoy each other nonetheless. One is categorically prettier than the other, though, and less hairy. For the rest of this discussion, check out our La Grande Alive Facebook page. And now, here to bring you this week's final Oscar Best Picture hopeful film in review, it's Grand Film Reviews featuring the recent sci-fi flick, Arrival.
I'm Josh Byers.
And I'm Jeannie Nickel.
And welcome to Grand Film Reviews, where we're continuing our special weekly coverage of Oscar films.
This week we'll be discussing Arrival, a science fiction film directed by Denis Villeneuve and starring Amy Adams.
In Arrival, 12 alien spacecraft have established first contact with Earth. Adams plays the protagonist, a world-class linguist tasked with the monumental challenge of communicating with the extraterrestrials.
Arrival is interesting in that Earth is never under attack, and humanity, fearful of the aliens, must overcome their cautionary paranoia so as to better understand the extraterrestrials' purpose on Earth.
Let's jump in.
There are days that define your story beyond your life. Like the day they arrived.
Signs of what might be called first contact. The objects measure at least.
I'm Colonel G.T. Weber from Army Intelligence. Pack your bags. You're at the top of everyone's list when it comes to translations.
Priority 1. What do they want? Where are they from? You'll be reporting to me, but you'll be working with him when you're in the show.
That's what they call in the UFO.
Now that's a proper introduction.
That's why production design for me, this is not a strong contender. Because like in her house too, I'm like, girl, why don't you have curtains? Like, why is your house so weird?
She had like 4 walls that were just windows. I'm like, you're a professor.
You don't make that much
You're
money.
on a professor's salary. Why are we like?
We don't know where she
doing
teaches.
this?
They didn't specify.
Even if it's
doesn't
a fancy
matter.
school, like.
Well, she's clearly in the Northwest too.
Yeah,
You know.
it was so Hollywood. Like how they. I feel like the only reason that they had her house the entire way it was so that they could get a few of the shots of her at a window, really wistful, just
being
Holding
Amy
a cup
Adams.
of coffee.
yeah. It's like, come on, man.
Come on, like, it
We
wasn't
don't-
necessary.
It's not like a super depressive like Folgers commercial, guys.
Like, exactly.
Yeah, it was like, wow, it didn't service the story in any way. It just felt contrived.
Oh, wow, we have something so like natural. I mean, something natural to us, and then something unnatural.
Yeah.
And it's just like the way that it was placed and the way that it was, and then pans around, and you have the military right in front of it. Like, I don't know. I think the symbolism in this film was actually very well done.
Arrival delves into some interesting themes and film conventions, though it is ultimately marred by some suboptimal artistic choices.
The rest of this discussion can be found online at Grande Live TV.
Hey Grande Live viewers, Bridger from the Grand Film Reviews here. This Sunday, Jeannie, Will, and I will be watching the Oscars together in the Mountaineer Room at the 4th Street Bistro. Now, I can't speak for all my co-hosts, but I know that for sure I'll be enjoying their delicious food, having a beer or two, probably yelling at the TV whenever La La Land wins anything. So, if you find yourself free that evening at 4 p.m. or anytime after, and this kind of sounds like a good time, then feel free to come on down and join us. We'd love the company and to hear your opinions on anything, really. Alternatively, if this still sounds like kind of a good time, but you can't make it down to join us in person, feel free to tune in to the Grande Live Facebook page. We'll be live streaming the entire event. That's all for now, but hopefully I will see a few of you on Sunday. Bridger out.
And now, for your most recent events in a fun and fantastic way, here's Get Out and Go with Emily Adair from Go Magazine. Hi, I'm Will Bowman from thegrandelive.tv.
And I'm Emily Adair from Go Magazine. This is Get Out and Go.
The Elgin Opera House is currently holding its production of Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. The show includes music of all genres, putting a fun twist on a well-known biblical story.
That's right. At the Opera House's media preview night, we got a sneak peek at a few numbers, including the Western Hoedown. The Observer is currently working on a video based on what we saw there, and it should be on our Facebook page later this week.
Here in the Grand, 2 area musicians are preparing to debut their instrumental music. Drummer Andy Steele and pianist Seth Kinsey will play a show in the Grand on Friday and a show in Enterprise on Saturday.
The duo will be joined in La Grande by Foxgloves. Foxgloves is the project Mike Serber and Gregory Rollins worked on before they moved to Seattle and started Sons of Guns.
The Grand Ronde Symphony Association has announced a contest to find soloists for its spring concert. The competition has 3 categories: student, regional, and open. Audition details can be found in this week's Go magazine, and heads up, the March deadline is fast approaching.
The Smithsonian Institute recently opened the National Museum of African American History and Culture. As a celebration and introduction to the new museum, a poster exhibition called A Place for All People will come to Northeast Oregon.
Gwen Trice, the director of the Maxville Heritage Interpretive Center in Wallowa County, will give a short presentation to open the exhibit at each location. Joseph, LeGrand, and Baker City are all among the tour stops.
The annual High School Student Art Exhibition will return to Nightingale Gallery at EOU this week. There will be an opening reception on February 24th, and awards will be announced that evening. Students from Cove, LeGrand, North Powder, Union, and several others are set to have their art displayed.
You can also find out details about a teen movie night, an end-of-the-month community dance, and the Ars Poetica series at EOU.
For more information, pick up a copy of this week's Go magazine, which is inserted in the Observer. We're also online at GoNortheastOregon.com and on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
And for more local content, check out LeGrandeLive.tv. Thanks for tuning in to Get Out and Go. In sports, the LeGrand Tigers boys basketball team trashed Ontario 69-53 to win their first league playoff game. Their next playoff game is on the 3rd of March, but their opponent is yet to be determined. Imbler won their game this weekend as well, beating Union 53-34 for their first league playoff tournament game on the 18th. The Union boys were 1 up, 1 down this weekend. Their loss against Elgin precursored by a win versus Grant Union the previous day. Elgin was 1 up, 1 down this weekend as well. They beat Enterprise on the 17th, 67-53, but then lost to Grant Union the next day, 26-47. Girls Tigers had 2 games this weekend, 2 games they split right down the middle. They started off on the 16th with a win versus Ontario, 50-43 at home. But several days later, they traveled to Baker, and well, their shooters weren't so good on that game. They lost to Baker at Baker by an ever so slim of margins, 49-52. Imbler girls, on the other hand, had 2 wins in their first playoff games. They beat Elgin 50-40 on the 17th. Then the next day, they barely scraped by Grant Union 29-28 to get their second win and their opportunity to play Lost River 1 p.m. on the 25th. And while Imbler was winning 2, Elgin was losing 1. Elgin lost their first playoff game against Union 27-39. Then the day after that, Union lost to Enterprise 26-32 to finish their playoff run. Around the Mount boys are MIA this week, so here's a few updates from EOU Sports. Women's basketball beat Corbin University 76-66. The next day, the men trashed Warner Pacific 84-58. These wins followed the previous weekend where both men and women won against Walla Walla and split a day against College of Idaho. The men beat Walla Walla 97-75 and the ladies won as well 107-45. College of Idaho, on the other hand, had a little better luck against EOU. The College of Idaho men beat the Mountaineers on the 16th, 91-79. The EOU ladies, on the other hand, beat the College of Idaho 74-54 the same day. Ladies basketball will play Oregon Tech at LeGrand on to the 24th at 7 p.m. and the men Mounties will play Corbin again 7 p.m. on the 25th, also at home. And that's your weekly Newsish Roundup. This roundup was brought to you by Grand Hospital, Northwest Furniture and Mattress, Anything2Digital.com, and Direct Music Source. Please like and share this video and tune into LeGrandeLive.tv for more local content. I'm Will Bowman.